All right, hello. This is Recovery Institute and Power Group doing recovery stories and also talking about the festival. And we have Libby as a guest here. Hello, Libby. How you doing?
Patrick and Dunk, how are you?
Good. So you are the winner for the design for the promotional T-shirt for the Wellness Festival.
I am really
Yeah,
excited.
yeah. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Um, so the design, I'm hoping we are right now editing in the future and flashing to a picture of it. So where did you get the idea for the design?
So I just kind of ended up, I'm sitting at home drawing a little bit, sketching and trying to think of some things. And then I drew the hand holding the flower. And I thought, like, to myself, how perfect, because recovery is really delicate and flowers are really delicate. So then I took that and superimposed it into some digital art and created it that way. Just messed around with a couple different fonts. And I really like the Kalamazoo Festival part font, the bottom part.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It all looks really great. Comes together great.
Thank you.
And there's probably all kinds of metaphors there you could run with. And you went to the festival last year, I heard.
Yeah,
What did you think of it?
I really liked it. Wonderful vendors, very welcoming, lots of community. I really enjoyed it.
Was that your first experience with Recovery Institute?
It was. And then what really got me into going to groups and being a member in Recovery Institute is I myself was in One North at Beacon, and you actually came and you spoke and told us all about the groups that you offer, and I was like, wow, I didn't even think something like this existed for me. So after I got out of the hospital, which was about a week, I joined first virtually because I was a little nervous. And then I started coming and I haven't stopped ever since.
Yeah, awesome. Nice to know that outreach is effective.
Absolutely.
I'm super grateful that I'm in a place that I can visit the hospitals and let people know what we do. A lot of times there's things out there and then people don't know about them, and it's like, people need to know. That's one of the great things about the festival. Not only is it celebrating recovery in general and then celebrating Recovery Institute and sharing about what we do, it's sometimes I think we've had almost like 70 vendors sharing about resources in the community.
Wow.
And also artists sharing their art and that kind of thing. Will you be presenting art at the festival?
I will be. I'm going to have a booth right next to the Power Group booth.
All right.
I'm really excited. It's for my own personal art company called Radials Art.
Beautiful. That's great.
Thanks.
What kind of work do you do?
I do watercolors and I also do like Sharpie. I really like taking watercolors and doing the background and then drawing over it.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Like that.
Thanks.
I look forward to seeing that. And just so people know, with the festival, that's the opportunity that's there. If you're someone in recovery, you can have a booth there and showcase your art for a very minimal payment.
Yeah.
There's so much great art that people get to see, and poetry and crafts and that sort of thing. That's one of my favorite parts about the festival, is that we offer that. There's also music, performers, sometimes recovery stories. But basically we just call it a celebration of recovery. And I love being in that environment where you're around all the people that relate.
Yeah.
And or support,
That's the biggest thing for me. Like, even going to groups, I can be having the worst day. And by the time I leave, it's completely turned around
Yeah.
because I'm around my people.
Yeah. I like that you say my people. It's like that. I thrive in the 12-step community, but I also need my mental health community.
Yeah.
Mental health / addiction at Recovery Institute. Yeah, it's a nice place to be. What do you like at Recovery Institute?
I do Hearing Voices Network
Okay,
and Whole Health Action Management.
nice.
Yeah.
Can you say what whole health action management is?
So you go through and you talk about, for instance, last week we talked about stress response and relaxation response. And it's just tools to help you be the best self you can be.
When we say whole health, we're talking about like physical health, mental health, spiritual
Correct.
health.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. And then Hearing Voices Network, I think we've talked about that in this podcast before, but I love how the concept is just, you have a right to your own reality. Basically, the goal is just to support people that are struggling with unusual experiences when they're distressing, but also kind of just celebrating freedom of thought.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that part. So let's see, what else is there? Again, Libby designed the promotional shirts, which people can buy. Not a exorbitant cost for those, but they do support the festival and sort of celebrate like the whole thing and publicize, etc.
You can get them at
Those are
the
the-
festival or you can get them online.
Yeah, perfect. And let's see, is there anything else you want to share about, or anything else you have to say on any of these topics?
So, my story.
Yeah, let's get into it if we want to.
Yeah, we can do that.
Sure.
When I was 16, I would call my mom at school. And I'd be like, Mom, I can't do this. I don't know why I'm feeling like this. I just feel like I have to get out of here.
Mm-hmm.
And she'd say, okay, I'll call an absence and you can walk down to my office. She worked down on West Edge at the physical therapy place where the Panda Express is now. She'd call me off and I'd walk down there and I would take a nap down in the basement and I'd feel so much better just getting away from at school. And I didn't know it at the time, but that was the first part of my journey with mental health because I was experiencing anxiety and nobody knew at the time why I was or what it was. They just thought I didn't want to be at school. When I was about 19, I started hearing voices and I was in pretty bad mania. It was probably the hardest time of my life. And I went to go to a psychiatrist. She prescribed me some medicine. Took the medicine. I didn't like how it made me feel, so I stopped taking it and kind of just went on for a couple of years like that. I had my daughter. I got married. And then I got divorced at 25, went into another manic episode, developed anorexia, and there was one point where I was like, I can't keep going on like this because I'm going to be hospitalized either for malnutrition or my mental health. And I wanted to be there for my daughter, and I felt strong and independent and all these things, but it was just the mania kind of clouding all of that.
Too much to carry along.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I found a therapist who I've been with ever since I was about 25. She's amazing. I've been through a couple different psychiatrists and I've gotten a little bit better. But this latest psychiatrist I found when I was in the hospital for my first hospitalization. And she is so supportive. She is an angel center.
That's awesome. That's great
Yeah.
to find somebody like that.
She really listens, and I've had some episodes and some setbacks, but every time she's always there to help me navigate it. So, yeah,
Sometimes just knowing you're not alone makes a big difference.
it really does.
Somebody's kind of there with you, you know, in their hearts they're there with you.
Yeah.
So what has been helpful about the groups with your experience?
Peer support, probably. Meeting other people who share the same diagnosis as me.
Yeah.
And just getting to know them, know their story, know I'm not alone, words of encouragement, and believe it or not, we laugh a lot at HVN.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was some laughs to be had that maybe some people might not understand.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a thing that happens when we're hearing voices, maybe more so in the Western world. And we learned about this in the peer support training. They call it the disabling impact of the illness. I think that's what it was. It's been a while. But there's this, for me, when I first started hearing voices, at first I thought it was kind of a neat thing, like, wow, I've got some kind of magic power or something.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I've been there.
Right. But also when I started trying to like share with just common people, like, hey, does everyone have this experience? People are like, whoa, man, what's wrong with you?
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
you need help.
Yeah. And I was like, whoa, what is wrong with me?
Yeah.
You know? But there's different things that happen. Like if you get diagnosed, I had a friend that said, wow, I'm mentally ill. I'm not crazy. Like he was relieved when he got diagnosed. But there's that stigma that goes with it. There's all the things you hear from the media. There's all this misinformation out there. And you can internalize this experience of like, oh, I'm hearing voices. There's something terrible about my experience, when it doesn't have to be terrible. There's ways to navigate it, but there's not something essentially wrong with us if we're having that experience. There's just something to work through.
Right. It's not that there's something wrong. It's just that we're different, and it's what makes us who we are.
Yeah.
I also have experienced a lot of stigma, and I've had to really stick up for myself. I'm a mom. I'm an artist. I have my own home. I am a functioning member of society. And I took my daughter to the doctor, and one of her doctors said, now, my daughter, please don't smoke, because it causes schizophrenia and you'll end up like the homeless man on the street. And I said, excuse you, that's a take. And I didn't know what to do. I froze. I was like, ma'am, I have schizophrenia. And she's like, oh, well, you're medicated. Like, that was like the most hurtful thing you could have said.
Mm-hmm.
Not only to me, but to the unhoused.
Yeah.
Like,
How misinformed. How
misinformed.
Yeah.
stigma has been, it's one of the reasons it's really hard to reach out, because you don't know who's going to react and how they're going to react.
Right. That's what I love about Hearing Voices Network is there's this normalization.
Yeah.
I mean, people might be hearing us now still thinking like, oh, hearing voices, that's kind of out there. But once you're in that community, or if you do the research and you learn that there's all kinds of people that have the experience and they're just living on their lives. And
There's people without schizophrenia that hear voices.
yeah,
It's a pretty natural phenomenon.
yeah. I've heard this before as an example, just for people to think about. If you think your phone vibrated and it didn't, or you think you heard your phone ring, that's a little glimpse of like hearing voices.
Right.
That's just your imagination playing with you, and that's a little taste of what it actually is.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So it's we all have the freedom to experience life the way we want to, and if we think differently, that's part of the richness of the world. There's all kinds of artists that have different ways of thinking, and there's all kinds of scientists, there's all kinds of performers and actors and all kinds of people, and it takes all kinds, that's the fabric of the world. That's the beauty of it.
Right. That's what makes everything so rich.
Yeah, absolutely. So what's been the turning point for you? When did you start feeling like, don't want to put words in your mouth, but was there a time where you felt like mental health was something to celebrate? Was it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Earlier this year, actually.
Okay.
About in January, and it's because I had that simple community. It's because I had all the support from my family and friends. I wasn't looked at like I was a problem, something that needed to be fixed. It's just accepted for who I was, and I really wanted to share with other people so that they can have that good feeling like I have.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, they say recovery is contagious, right?
Yeah.
We get it, and then we get to share it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't mention, you remember the Power Group now. Yeah. So Power Group, that's kind of what this show is about. Well, what we do is share our recovery stories. So kind of like we did today, but I'm sort of like alumni now, but they go to schools and colleges, high schools, middle schools, basically any venue, anybody that wants to hear our stories. And we inspire, we educate, we fight stigma. But that's something you're doing now.
Yeah, and it's really, really rewarding.
Yeah.
We went to Kellogg this last week, and it's really good questions.
Yeah.
It was a class of nurses, and they had asked me, what's something you would want us to know? And I told them, I was like, there's a lot of not great practitioners out there that will judge you and will not listen to you or perpetuate that stigma. So if you can be one of those people who stands up and says, hey, I'll listen to you, I'm not going to judge you, and I'm going to help. Or even if you see it, say something. That would be really important.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I love that they're going into their careers ready to, well, I mean, with our help, ready to,
Yeah.
do it the right way,
Yeah.
basically. Yeah, so super excited about the festival coming up.
Absolutely.
All the great things Power Group is doing and will do in the future. They've been going strong for probably 30 years now. Yeah, close to that. And the festival will be September 12th, starting at 11 in Bronson Park. You can just show up. It's going to be super fun. And Libby, thanks so much for being here.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me, Patrick.
Any final thoughts?
No.
Just enjoying celebrating recovery and diversity and this community we have in Kalamazoo. And thanks so much for being part of it, Libby.
Absolutely. There's help out there if you need it, guys.